Genes present on the same locus but having different expressions are multiple alleles, oncogenes, polygenes, codominants. How many kinds of gametes will be produced by AA, BB, CC genotype? 2, 4, 6, 9. Sickle cell is an autosomal dominant trait. Occurrence of sickle cell-like nucleated RBCs, change in single base pair of DNA, none of these. Mutations can be induced with ethylene, gamma radiations, infrared radiations, IAA. Phenomenon of one gene controlling several phenotypes is epistasis, pleiotropism, codominance, multiple allelism. Ultimate source of variations is mitosis, meiosis, fertilization, mutations. Variations occur during meiosis due to crossing over, independent assortment, linkage, disjunction. What is considered as father of genetics? Hugo de Vries, Mendel, Morgan, Darwin. A person suffering from color blindness cannot recognize red and yellow colors, blue and green colors, red and green colors, none of these. Mendel proposed law of linkage, laws of inheritance, 10% energy law, none of these. How many characters were studied by Mendel? 5, 7, 4, 3. Mendel selected gram, penis, tomato, garden pea. Law of segregation is also known as law of dominance, law of independent assortment, law of purity of gametes, none of these. In human blood group AB, antibodies are present, antibodies are absent, antibody A is present, antibody B is present. Success of Mendel is selection of pea plant, more characters selection, studied of free characters, P is bisexual. Loss of melanin pigment cause for depigmentation, alkatonuria, color blindness, phenylketonuria. Genetical identification of male human by nucleus, by cells, by autosome, by sex chromosome. Rh individual gene may be Rn, Tt, Rr, both A and C. Cause of chromosomal mutations, euploidy, polyploidy, physical effect, all of these. Mendel was born in 17th century, 18th century, 19th century, 8th century. Two genes very close on a chromosome will show no crossing over, high crossing over, hardly any crossing over, only double crossing over. First geneticist or father of genetics was de Vries, Mendel, Darwin, Morgan. Mendel's law can be applicable only when characters are linked, parents are pure breed, if generation in monohybrid cross show two types of individuals, one pair of conjugating characters depends on another pair. An individual with two identical alleles is hybrid, homozygous, dominant, heterozygous. A true hybrid condition is double small t, capital R, capital T, double small r, double small t, double small r, capital T, capital R, small r. Most of the mutations are recessive, harmful, germinal, all of these. The smallest segment of plant's genetic material affected by mutation is recon, cistron, muton, exon. Genes located on Y chromosome are mutant genes, autosomal genes, Hollandric genes, sex-linked genes. A strong mutagen is cold, heat, water, X-rays. A point mutation is thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, Down syndrome, night blindness. Mendel's second law is of the law of segregation, dominance, polygenic inheritance, independent assortment. An organism with two unlike genes of a trait is called homozygous, heterozygous, both of these, none of these. Mendel's laws were rediscovered by Correns, De Vries, T. Schermach, all of these. Mendel formulated the law of purity of gametes on the basis of test cross, monohybrid cross, back cross, dihybrid cross. Exception of Mendel's law is dominance, purity of gametes, linkage, independent assortment. Hemophilia is a Mendelian disorder. Chromosomal disorder can be A or B, none of these. Down syndrome is a Mendelian disorder. Chromosomal disorder can be A or B, none of these. Mendel worked on edible pea, wild pea, garden pea, none of these. A gamete contains which of the following? Both alleles of a gene, only one allele of a gene, all alleles of a gene, no allele. Punnett square was developed by Mendel, Watson and Sutton. Reginald Boveri. The plant Mendel used to study inheritance of two genes is apple, garden pea, mango, potato. Mendel published his work on inheritance of character in 1870, 1865, 1900, 1845. Pairs of contrasting traits were studied by Mendel in pea plant 6, 7, 8, 10. Which of the following characters was not chosen by Mendel? Pod shape, location of flower, pod color, location of pod. In antirrhinum dog flower phenotypic ratio in F2 generation for the 3:1, 1:1, 1:2:1, 2:1. ABO blood grouping in human beings cites the example of incomplete dominance, multiple allelism, codominance, both B and C. To determine the genotype of a tall plant of F2 generation, Mendel crossed this plant with a dwarf plant. This cross represents a test cross, back cross, dihybrid cross, reciprocal cross. Genes which code for a pair of contrasting traits are known as dominant genes, linked genes, alleles, none of these. The inheritance of flower color in antirrhinum dog flower is an example of incomplete dominance, multiple alleles, codominance, linkage. What is the probability of production of dwarf offsprings in a cross between two heterozygous tall tree plants? 0, 50%, 25%, 100%.